Good day, I'm Shani Bosso from Brightstar, and in this week's Spark, we are going to look at introverts. So introversion is a personality trait. Some think of introverts as very shy people or avoiding social contact or the limelight, perhaps even being socially a little bit awkward. But it's essential, however, to know and understand that introversion lies on a spectrum. So on the one hand, you would get someone that strongly identifies with being an introvert. And on the other side, you even might have people that have introverted and extroverted traits. So today we are going to look at 4 categories of introverts: the social introverts, the thinking introverts, the anxious introverts, and the restrained or inhibited introverts. And I will create an awareness of ways to embrace that introvertedness and also help with an understanding of your introverted loved one or friend or work colleague. So let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's start with the first group, the social introverts. So for social introverts, the introvert part lies in preferring a smaller group of people that you know and one-to-one conversations. It is untrue to think that introverts, social introverts, are very shy. Often they can interact very good in a group, and they can actually be excellent networkers in a work situation. Other signs of introverts include enjoying solitary activities and not feeling lonely when you're hanging out with yourself, or feeling drained after extended social interactions and needing time to recharge. Very interestingly, even if you had fun. So advice to embrace is the following. Lean into your social introversion. Engage in small gatherings. Connect with a few people and schedule downtime so that you have afterwards, after your activities, time to recharge. You can also set clear boundaries and expectations and discussions with your family so that you help them understand what your needs are. Knowing and honoring your boundaries is key. And it's okay if you have the chance to say that you do not want to attend a very big gathering or event that feels draining. For me, very important, don't let society pressure you to feel that solitude is a flaw. It is not. It is actually a strength. And that brings us to the second group, and that would be the thinking introverts. So signs of thinking introversion include the following: frequent daydreaming or fantasizing, engaging in deep reflection, being highly introspective and self-aware, enjoying solitary activities that are both creative on the one hand and engaging your mind, like writing or painting or puzzles. Finding yourself lost sometimes during discussions. And then feeling overwhelmed in fast-paced discussions. That is the thinking introverts. And how can you embrace that? The happy medium is key. Find a balance by allowing social interaction, but that does not compromise your need for solitude and being on your own. Schedule pockets of time to be creative and reflective. Practice mindfulness and tell other people what you think, because they can actually do much with that. Do not apologize for needing some mental space, because in that time, you will be creative and you will grow personally. So that was the second group, bringing us to the third group, the anxious introvert. So the anxious introvert leaves social situations feeling drained, beating themselves up, and analyzing everything they've said. As a result, they didn't even want to go to the social event from the beginning. So other signs of anxious introversion can include feeling very nervous and self-conscious before the event and during the event. avoiding or dreading social interactions, especially if it's unfamiliar ones, due to a fear of being embarrassed or judged. Overanalyzing past social encounters and replaying social interactions over and over and over again in your head. Hesitating to approach new people. So how can anxious introverts embrace this? Gradually expose yourself in social situations. Go for a shorter while. Take a friend with you. Or perhaps just hang out with another crowd. Seek support from a therapist can really be very helpful, especially to help you understand anxious thoughts and feelings and to help you develop new skills. It's okay to feel nervous, but remind yourself that most probably you will not be judged as harshly as you think you would. And that brings us to the last group, the restrained or inhibited introverts. Now, these, I want to say, poor people have to force themselves to walk in unnatural territories every day, at work and in life. Even if they play. If there's a sudden or an unexpected change in a plan to go out socially, they need mental time to prepare. They rather observe than participate in a group. They need time to feel comfortable with a new group and warm up to a new group. They dislike the feeling of being put on the spot. They are very reserved in a group setting. They value deliberate routines and predictability, and they prefer, therefore, planned events over last-minute invitations. So, embracing advice would be, take situations at your own pace, because your own pace is as valid as everyone else's. Surround yourself with people that understand your thoughtfulness and wouldn't push you unnecessarily into quick decisions. But then, when you are ready, challenge yourself gradually to engage a little bit more. My last word, being an introvert or an extrovert or an ambivert, none is better than the other. Everyone has strengths and everyone has value. Thank you.